Yo, what's good with y'all? In today's video, I got how to make still a Brainrot. I honestly don't even remember what part this is. I think this is, I think this is part 18. I think it's part 18 or maybe 19. I think it's part 18. But that aside, it's gonna be a quick video. So, oh, forgot. But anyway, so this is gonna be a quick video, another quick video and stuff. As you guys know, the Still Brainrot series is, I mean, it's pretty much over. As I've covered most stuff. Anything from here is just improvements or just like, slight modifications and whatnot. So I fixed a bug that somebody brought to my attention a while ago. I'm just not recording the video for it. I also added events. People have requested events for a long time, so I'm just gonna show you how like you can start an event and then like where you would put your code for all the event stuff to occur. So let's go ahead and get straight to the video. 'Cause like I said, it'll be real quick. All we're doing is making changes to the module script. So let's go ahead and open that up. So first things first, let's go down. Let's fix our bug. We're gonna go down to the NPC prompt function, right? And then right here, where you guys see like all these, where you guys see all of these if statements and whatnot. I'm gonna have to log in because I'm trying to see. Okay, if NPC, which line is it? So if second floor, and then the else if. I think it's yeah. Okay, so it would be this one. Okay, so else if. Okay, so then here's what we're gonna do. So you guys see this line, right? Just clear this out, right? So inside of this else if, right? And then we have the multiple ifs right here. So we're not touching this if statement nor this else if statement. We're touching the one in the middle, right? And then you're just gonna say, I'm just gonna rewrite it instead of just trying to make changes because yeah, I feel like I'm just gonna forget something. So I'm just gonna rewrite the whole thing. So we're gonna say NPC model dot parent. Oh, that's dot parent dot parent. So parent twice, then dot name, right? And then comma and quotation marks base, right? They go on the outside. And NPC model dot parent dot parent. So two parents, then owner dot value is equal to player dot name, right? Boom. So what this does is it fixes an issue where people were experiencing where like they would go to they would go to this either the first, I forgot if it happened on the first or second floor. I think it was the second floor. But pretty much what would happen is like you would try to sell an NPC, but for some reason it would keep showing up as like you're trying to, or like it would keep showing up as like you're trying to steal it and stuff, right? It wouldn't let you, or it'd be the vice versa where oh it's showing up that you're trying to steal it when you're just trying to sell it and stuff. So that just fixes that issue. It just helped identifying that, and it was an issue that it was an issue that was caused by me adding the second floor code and everything like that. So and then there's one more thing right here. Where is it? Oh, and then for some reason I did player.rebirths, even though this is supposed to be player.leader.rebirths. I don't know why I did that, but yeah. So it's supposed to be, so right here is supposed to be the leader stats that reverse. So just fix that and then yeah. Okay, now moving on to the events. It's very simple. I'm not doing anything too crazy. So you're gonna come down here. As you guys know, this is our command function code. So our admin commands, right? You're gonna press enter right here. You're then gonna say else if command is equal to in quotation marks. You're gonna put semicolon event, right? And then of course and table dot find private admin list comma player dot name, enter, right? So then we're going to clarify the event types. Let's create a variable for that. So it's equal to, it's equal to message split regular bracket 2. So the specific event type will be clarified. The second thing, so we'll say if event type is equal to, and then for me, I'm just going to put rain into, you guys can call it whatever you want. And then what I'm going to do is I'm then going to say core module dot rain event, right? And stuff. Now, obviously, I got to create that function. Now, here's what you guys could do. You could have one gigantic function if you wanted to. I'm just going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. So what you guys could do, you could totally, just have one gigantic function, which is, the wrong thing. You could just say like, core module dot events, right? And then you could just have the event type as like a parameter here, and then you just pass along the event type and then just use an if statement. But I feel like that would be a really long function, so I think it's just better to just have each event in its own function. So I'm just gonna call this rain event, right? And then I'm gonna create a variable for this rain part. Okay, so I do want to clarify something. What I'm showing you guys is an example. You guys don't have to make this exactly as I've made this, right? So what I have is inside of, I think it's lighting, or is it server storage? Or no, oh no, it's in workspace. Okay, so in workspace, I have this part called rain, right? I got it from the toolbox, and so you guys can get this from the toolbox. Just literally search rain. So it just so it's just a part, right? And it's just particle emitters. I disabled all the particle emitters, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna enable them. And then I scaled it to where it's like over. I mean, obviously you would probably want this to be much wider to cover, like your entire map. But I just have this cover this part of the map since this is where I walk and stuff, right? So I'm just gonna make a simple event where pretty much an admin can make it so that it starts raining, and then upon it start raining, you have to kind of condition or not condition, you'll have it to where it gives some kind of like buff or boost of some kind. And I'm just gonna make it so that the player can just earn more money, but it's up to you guys. So this is just an example event. It's very simple. So we're just gonna say workspace, wait for child, rain. So you guys don't necessarily have to do this yourself, but you know. So rain. That we're gonna do is we're gonna of course notify everybody. Support events, fire all clients in quotation marks for event notification, comma GM. Oh, did not mean to do that. Comma. Then then obviously the description for the event. So I'm just gonna say a weather event is occurring, colon, and I'm just gonna put rain, right? Then I'm gonna gather the start time, which is just the current time right now, right? And then I'm gonna have it so that after a certain amount of time, what's gonna happen is it'll stop raining. So what I'll do is I will say rain, which is my rain part. I'll say rain dot raining. That's the sound effect. Playing is equal to true. Then I use a for loop to enable all of the particle emitters. So for IV, comma v I pairs, rain, get children. Let's say if v is a particle emitter, enter. V dot enabled is equal to true. We'll skip the two ends, right? And then we use this as like our boolean to stop the loop. So continue rain will be set to true by default. We'll use a loop. We'll say while continue rain, enter. Then here's where you would put like your event effects and stuff, whether or not it be like, oh, you want certain enemies to spawn, or that's sorry, not enemies, brain rots or NPCs to spawn, or just whatever you would want to happen. So what I'm just gonna do is simply I'm just gonna take current time. This is the start time of the event. It's the current time, so it's that time. And we're just gonna check. We're gonna say if current time minus start time, and then you could just say is greater than or equal to, and then this I believe is in seconds. I believe this is in seconds. So this would just be like, oh, if 10 seconds have passed, enter, then you can just end the event and stuff. But it's up to you guys for however long you want the event to. It doesn't have to be 10 seconds. It can be however long you want it to be. But while the event is going on, I'm then going to boost players' money. So I'm just going to say for IV and I pairs. There's many things you could do. You could do it to where you just randomize and you just give a random player like $2,000 or something. It's up to you guys and stuff. But what I'm just doing is I'm just gonna give every player some money. So giving up players get children, enter, right? Create a variable players equal to v. Then you just say player dot leader stats dot cash dot value plus equal 1.5. Or sorry, not plus, sorry. Um times equals 1.5, right? Now, obviously, in an actual game, you would not want to do this because, like, you're like the player, unless the event was going on for like I don't know, like 3 seconds or something, because like that's a lot of money. That's almost doubling a person's money. And if a person has like hundreds of thousands or millions, that's a lot. That's a lot of money. But yeah. But then after the end, you're then just gonna put your task dot wait, and then let's just say like every 5 seconds, I want the player to. So pretty much this would happen like 2 times and stuff. Because 10 seconds total, divide that by 5, that's 2, so 2 times, I would get some money. Right, then after this, after the loop, you'll know that it's time to end the event, so you can just copy this stuff and then just do the vice versa. So Control C, or just copy, paste, and then just set everything to false, right? Now, obviously, again, this is my specific or my particular particle emitters and stuff like that. You guys may have different stuff, but the point goes is that at the beginning you would enable everything, at the end you would disable everything. So I think you guys get the point and the logic and stuff. And then lastly, of course, you're going to notify players once again. So fire all clients, in quotation marks, notification, comma, quotation marks, GM, comma, then a weather event is ending, rain, right? And then boom. So that's just how you make a very simple and easy event. Let's go ahead and test to make sure this works. As always, if you guys want access to any one of my scripts or models, just simply read the description to find out how to gain access to that. or to that I should say. Just read the description. That's all you gotta do. All right, so let's go ahead and we're gonna say event rain. Boom, a weather event is occurring. Oh, I spelled. Apparently, I don't know how to spell. So it'll just last for like 10 seconds. As you guys can see, my money, I think my money was just, I think it was like just 200. Yeah, you guys see. And I think you guys clearly see why it's not a good idea to have that for a while. And then the weather event is ending. Yeah. But I think you guys see why it's not a good idea to have that because I just went from 200 mil to 500 and stuff, right? So, obviously not a good idea to have that and stuff. Let me go fix that spelling. Weather event is ending. Is current. But yeah, so but yeah, so obviously you guys would have much more in-depth stuff. You guys can add sound effects and everything. I'm just showing you guys like, this is this part of the code. This is where you would notify the players, have all your effects and stuff, like whether it be visual sound effects and the actual like effects of the event where like, oh, the player's earning money or they're rare or I don't know, their luck is increasing, whatever the case. That's up to you guys and stuff. And then obviously if we go back up to the admin code and the admin command code, uh where is that exactly? Must have went. Oh, right there. Yeah. Then if you go up to the admin code and stuff, this is just simply just all it's doing is just playing the event based on whichever one you're trying to start. So if you're starting the event, but yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video and stuff. Very simple, very light. Just want to give you guys a little something and stuff. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support you guys been showing on the channel. I really do appreciate it. And everything you guys continue to show love and support. And don't worry, guys, I got more and more videos coming out for y'all. Just let me know any other series you want to see. Stuff I appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.